What's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new Q&A. So I know it's been a while since I put out a video. I've been recharging, recuperating in Mexico, but I am now back in Canada, fully recharged and ready to pump out an abundance of content for you guys. So we got a Q&A. I appreciate all of you who dropped great questions. Without further ado, let's get into them. So the first question is, would you ever consider competing in a natural setting? Absolutely the fuck not. I have zero interest in bodybuilding. I think bodybuilding is fucking disgusting, regardless of whether you're staying natural or not. Right? Like, I don't need to diet down to 5% body fat, spray tan myself so that I can stand butt ass naked in front of a bunch of men who are gonna judge my physique, right? I'm a heterosexual male, thank you very much. Let me make this super clear for you guys, okay? Because I don't think a lot of people understand this. This channel is not about bodybuilding. This channel is about helping people build great bodies with a minimum time investment so that they can focus on leveling up in other areas of life. That's what Polarity Fitness is all about. This channel is not about becoming a gym-obsessed bodybuilder whose life revolves around fitness. If that's what you want, good for you. I cast no judgment, but this channel is not for you. But if you want to seamlessly integrate fitness into your lifestyle and not spend hours in the gym every week, then this channel is for you. Next question is, I'm running your full body twice a week split and it's going great. Is it fine to take a week or two off after 4 to 8 weeks of consistent training? So this is essentially a question of whether to do deloads or not. So I don't believe in traditional deloads where you take a week and reduce your working weights by 50% and basically go through the motions, right? What I like to do instead is take 7 to 10 days off of training completely, which is what I just did when I was in Mexico. And I do this intuitively when I feel it's needed. So I don't schedule time off because you can't predict when you're gonna feel like shit and when you need a break, right? If you're making great progress, you're feeling good, but you have a deload scheduled, it doesn't make sense to take the fucking deload. You wanna take the deload when you need it, okay? So if you're starting to have aches and pains, you feel like shit, your strength is plateauing, and you constantly feel tired and sore, then this is when you want to take 7 to 10 days off of training. What I've found is that taking a complete break from training gives you way more benefits than reducing the weights for a week. And no, you will not lose any muscle mass, okay? You'll come back feeling super recharged and ready to make rapid progress in the gym. However, I would not take 2 weeks off because usually around the 2-week mark is when you'll start to lose a little bit of strength, potentially some muscle mass. So 7 to 10 days should be plenty if you're staying away from the gym completely. And while you should do this intuitively, you shouldn't need to do this every month if you're following a good training program. It should be more like every few months if you're doing things properly. The next question is, what are your thoughts on Mike Mentzer's high intensity training style? So overall, I agree with the principles behind his training approach as far as dropping the volume, upping the intensity, but there are a couple of things I don't agree with. And the first thing is the usage of intensity heightening techniques like forced reps, negatives, drop sets, etc., right? The second thing is the idea of doing just 1 set per exercise. So for those of you who don't know, intensity heightening techniques are ways to basically extend your sets and push beyond momentary failure, which is essentially where you can't move the bar for another rep. The thing about intensity heightening techniques is that you don't gain any more muscle mass by pushing your sets beyond failure. You literally just destroy your recovery for no extra benefit and increase your risk of injury. And to make the 1 set to failure approach work, you have to take it beyond failure. And the reality is that most people don't know how to train hard. If you walk into any public gym and look at the way people train, there is no chance in hell that they can stimulate dick with 1 set. Everyone's failure point is about 3 to 5 reps shy of their real failure point. And when you're leaving reps in the tank like that, you need more than 1 set, right? Most people will do much better with 2 to 3 sets per exercise taken to 0 to 1 reps in reserve. It basically eliminates the need to use intensity heightening techniques and it gives you more practice with the exercise, which is very important if you're a beginner or intermediate lifter. So if you're not advanced, you probably don't yet know how to produce maximum intensity in your sets. You can't do enough damage in 1 set to stimulate muscle growth. And if you don't know how to train hard enough yet, you will need more than 1 set to accumulate enough stress to stimulate muscle growth. The next question is, I'm lean bulking and my weight has stalled. How many weeks should I wait before increasing my calories again? So if your weight has stalled for 2 to 3 weeks, then increase your daily calorie intake by 100 to 200 calories. You should be gaining roughly 2 pounds per month on the scale. And if you're not seeing that rate of weight gain each month, then increase increase your calories until you do. The next question is how to start seeing quicker progress as a skinny fat 14-year-old. First of all, go and watch my video on how to solve the skinny fat situation. That video was essentially made for my 14-year-old self who is also a skinny fat boy. I focused on trying to get ripped, which was the wrong move. That was a huge mistake. So what you need to do instead is focus on gaining muscle. And the tricky thing about being skinny fat is that you think you're fat because you have man tits, you have a small layer of body fat, but you don't actually have much body fat. It just looks like it because you have no muscle mass underneath, right? And if you try to lose that last layer of body fat, you're going to look even worse. You're just revealing how little muscle mass you have, and you're gonna fall into a vicious cycle where you continuously try and lose more and more weight, and before you know it, you'll be at an unhealthy body weight. And that's what happened to me. And the funny thing is that that layer of body fat will still be there because it was the wrong problem to try and solve to begin with. The fat is not the issue, okay? The lack of muscle mass is. So my advice to you, man, is to not cut. Focus on putting on muscle and bulking slowly. Eat in a small calorie surplus of 200 above maintenance per day and gain 1 to 2 pounds per month on the scale. Your number one goal should be to gain strength across all your exercises in the gym. That is the priority, okay? And you're a beginner lifter, and I know that because you wouldn't be skinny fat if you weren't a beginner, because you'd have some strength, you'd have some muscle mass, right? So you, sir, can get away with eating in a very small calorie surplus and pack on a lot of muscle without gaining much fat. So there are very few scenarios when you can make lean gains. For most people, it is borderline impossible, or just it's painfully slow, it doesn't make sense, right? It's impractical. But this is one of those scenarios where it is possible because one, you're a beginner with no muscle, no strength, you're primed to make fast gains, okay? Number two is that you have a slightly higher body fat percentage, which means you have a small energy reserve built up that can be used to pack on muscle and strength. And third and most important, man, you have puberty on your side because you're 14 for fuck's sake. Like, having puberty on your side and then having noob gains on your side is a very potent combination, okay? So you have to capitalize on this opportunity, and to eat in a calorie deficit would be to completely waste your noob gains unless you're very fat. So if you focus on cutting during your noob gain stage, like I did, like dumbass, you can still put on some muscle mass because you're a beginner, but you'd be wasting a golden opportunity, and it might take you 2 to 3 times longer to put on the same muscle mass. So when you focus on bulking slowly, training properly, gaining strength on your lifts, what's gonna happen, man, is that you'll gain lots of muscle, and you might even get slightly leaner, and that small layer of fat that you had will become completely negligible since your body composition will have improved so much. So that's it for today's Q&A, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments section if you did. If your question wasn't answered in today's Q&A, then it will be answered in the next one. Take care. Peace.